Okay, so this is just an evaluation video for you because I want to give you an idea of what we're looking at and a possible cost. Yeah, man, he wore the heck out of this thing. Look, he wore it so much he almost started wearing off the battery change scale. Wow, that's crazy. Geez, he wore the heck out of this thing. Insert is one of the Dynie blue ones. So the insert, my theory is that it was made by Dynie to help out Sua. And they seem to do that stuff a lot. It's definitely dirty. Yeah, there's that Dynie blue. Definitely bonked around, but everything's intact. Let me get these straps off of here. Crystal's pretty worn, of course. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull the shroud and the rotating ring because I want to see what kind of corrosion we might be looking at. Israel is really, really good at making watches rusty because of the humidity and the heat and the National Service. I don't see any corrosion. You can see the original high polish there. I mean, it's dirty, obviously. I'm gonna now, I want to look, like I said, I want to look under the rotating ring because I want to see what's under there to make sure we don't have any surprises. Okay, I finally got that off. That was like a 10-minute job to get this off because the, darn it, because the rotating ring gasket in there is just hard as a rock. But I need to get under there, darn it, to see. Oh, wow. Look at that. And that, my friends, that is what Seiko rubber does if you give it enough time, or really any rubber. I don't know that it's just Seiko. Yeah, but when you have even stainless steel will corrode. So I got to check that. Sorry for the horrible squeaking. I'm not really leaning into it. I'm just checking. Think of this as like, I don't know, the dentist. There's a reason I'm doing this over at the craft bench. Yeah, that looks okay. So interestingly, in case you care, you've got the very thin spacer washer shim, this aluminum shim, which means that this insert was originally made for 6105. And I don't know why, but they, it's pretty common for them to use it like this. They just use that shim. And it's that Dynie blue. That's cool. Let me get this out of the way. So now I'm checking the channel on the rotating ring. I tell you, anybody who's watching this, if you ever tinker around with watches, these wood round cocktail toothpicks, they're perfect. I use them every day, all day. And when I don't have them, it's just not cool because they're so useful for doing stuff like this. Because the end gets all beaten down and fibrous, and so it can pull stuff out pretty easily. You really can't see what you're dealing with. No, so far this looks really good. Yep, so far that looks really good. Okay. Let me clean this off here. Okay. So let's pull this case back off. I loosened it. I didn't actually crack it open. So full disclosure, it's not really super tight, but let's act like it is. Yeah, I did. I loosened that. Come on. There we go. So now come on. Come on, you're making me look silly. Oh, it's acting like the seal is really old, which I'm sure it is. Yep, there it is. It's intact. It's original. It's a correct original plastic wrapped coil. That was a 7549 thing only. It looks clean. Your movement spring and your movement ring is nice and clean, I think. Those are the things that they rust first. Hang on a sec. Okay, so far so good. Your case back seal is completely flattened. Your threads look okay. Come on. There's a drop. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I'll say this about your father. He knew how to properly look after the screw-down crown on his watch. To be commended. Okay, I want to put this here. There. And it's a little wiggly, but... So let's do this. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to pull the old battery that's in here. Anybody who's opening this up, this is the most critical screw. And you got to be super careful when you're doing that, because if you're not reinforcing and holding this tip, one slip, it'll hit that coil, and then, baby, you got a dead watch. Come on, let's go. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Ooh, a Renata. Yikes. Wow, it didn't leak. That's astonishing. Wow. Okay, let's, I want to get that out of there. So hang on just one second. Looks like somebody enthusiastically greased your crystal, because that's what this stuff is, I think. It's probably silicon. Your loom is drooped down a little bit, but the color's not bad. I can clean up and lighten the color back to the white that it used to be. This dial color here, that's, as far as I believe, that's original. Somebody touched up the loom right there. These are cool when you see these when they're sun faded. These started out black, but then they'll fade to this really, really light sort of biscuity tan. It's pretty neat. You got a Looks like you got a little bubble right there of the top surface. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look at that really carefully. Got another one right here. Looks like watch obviously did get some moisture, and that's why this stuff is sunk. But they're fine. I can clean them. These, if those are off the... Oh, I see what was happening here. The loom got so puffy it was actually hitting the dial. Let's do this. Whew. Your center wheel port is roasted, so I'll have to machine that out and put a jewel in there. But that's real standard. There isn't a jewel there for the center wheel, which is an oversight, and they should have done that, but they didn't. Come on, baby. Let's see what happens. Okay. Day and date wheel turn over when they should. Yeah, that we're getting, look at all the swing in that hand stack. Okay, so what else we got going on here? Okay, so let's poke at this. I'm not really sure what this stuff is. It's probably just some of the salt that got pulled out of this salt-based loom. A lot of times when I wash the dial, this stuff just sort of comes off. See, even there it's doing it. It's just poking off just a little bit. So that's not a big deal. That. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of corrosion under there. Like this top surface is pushed up because there's some corrosion got underneath and through the paint and hit this. So that is probably going to come to metal. But what I can do is I can patch that and it'll look pretty good. This one doesn't look as bad, but I am still going to want to firm that down. I'm going to use after I clean the loom and everything, I'm going to use a clear binder, which is invisible once it's done. And then it protects the loom. Yeah, if that's the only piece of bad things you have, or is it? Is it? Oh, is it? It's a miracle. I love being wrong sometimes. Boy, that's a relief, isn't it? Whew. Talk about dodging a bullet. Okay, that looks like that's going to come pretty much right off. Ditto for this. Okay, that's good. There's no corrosion around the loom windows. I do see that they look all frosted now, and that happens because the loom is corrosive when moisture gets to it. I'll definitely clean it up. That'll make it look better. Okay, so now what I want to do is we are gonna flip it over. We are gonna put a battery in it, and we are gonna see if we are ticking over. Come here, you. There she blows. Hacks as she should. Yeah. Not sure if that, I bet you that stuff's going to clean off. I think this is definitely the same stuff. That'll clean off too. Whew! You did pretty good. This thing lived. You got the sweep hand is hitting the top of the minute hand, so I'm going to not want to leave this running too much. Okay. I think I have a good idea of what we're doing. I think I have a good idea of what's going to happen. Okay. Case, I don't see anything major at all. There might be something underneath this, but I'd be shocked. If there is, it's super minor. Your ceiling surfaces, oh, I didn't check. Yeah, it's still rubbery. That's something. This used to be an O-ring. Yeah, it's not a happy gasket. But we can see that your ceiling surfaces are perfect. Okay, that's great. So your case is fine. That should be just a regular case rebuild. Your case threads are fine. Your crown seems to be fine. Your movement is running. It's a runner. Your dial looks pretty good. I'm going to have time to clean these hands. I have to revitaloom them. The sort of the sunken look that they have from the loom swelling up a bit and dropping, there's not really anything I can do about that. I've never successfully gotten stuff to flatten back out and look good, so I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be movement service case rebuild with a new crystal, all that stuff, and all the new seals. And we're going to have some time in for ventalooming this, and I've got to clean the dial, but that's part of the deal. And we need to jewel your center wheel. We do that, and I think you're going to be good to go. This is going to be a nice watch, man. This is going to be a nice piece. It's got all that history. That's awesome. No, well, you let me know if you want me to go ahead. I'm going to send you a quote, and then you can make a decision from there. Nice watch. Nice watch. Great history. And as banged up as it might be outside, showing its life, inside, it's pretty okay. We're going to make this just lovely. So you let me know if you want to go ahead, and we'll go from there. Thank you.